Okay, so we are on episode 11 of Make Things, which is a podcast series about my everyday journey as a multi hyphenate creative, trying to tap back into my creative voice through practice of multiple things. Right now, I've been focused on DJing. I'm a house music DJ, producing enthusiast, an apparel designer, and fashion tech enthusiast, and also a new homeowner. And so I have these different things and projects that I'm working on, and just trying to slowly but surely make my way into a consistent practice of action without the pressure of profit. So here we are. I've done 11 episodes. I'm very proud of myself. Shout out to my Tulsa content creators accountability team. We've kind of just been keeping each other motivated by meeting monthly to discuss our wins, things that we want to improve upon, and just giving each other that encouragement that you need from other people who are doing the same things or similar things that you're doing. So I want to shout my team out. I appreciate y'all so much. What is this episode about? This episode is going to be about my previous event that I had this past weekend. I hosted my second Creatives Kickback, which I just started off a whim of wanting to get people together and making connection. Something that wasn't too stressful or that wasn't putting a lot of pressure on things. It's not about selling anything. It is really, I just love to see what people are doing, and I'm inspired by other people. So it's just kind of natural that I would want to be around those folks, and creating something that would bring us together was, I think, just the natural fit. So this past Saturday, I had a little bit of a day party, house music event, and I invited my friends, people that I know in the community that are creatives and that have been doing some really, really cool stuff in the city. And then also, I invited a friend of mine who is a DJ as well. And I'm so happy that she said yes. And so I literally was like, well, let's do this. Let's have a backyard party, have the grill going, come bring your lawn chairs, bring you some drinks, throw something on the grill if you want, and just hang out and listen to some really good house music. So it was a success. So about the event, let me walk you guys through how it came about. I wanted to make it extremely casual and not stress myself out with having to have things perfect. You know, as I still continue to work on my house, there are certain things, especially in the backyard, I'm like, it isn't set up the way that I would ideally like it to be, but it's a great space for hosting people, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So it's getting rid of that perfectionism in my head and just allowing the space to be comfortable and setting it up where people can relax and just have a good time. And so there was actually not a lot of pressure on me to have some like perfect setup. I created some space for the DJ booth and for people who wanted to dance, and then people kind of spread out along the grass. And so it just kind of worked itself out in that way. There wasn't really a lot of stuff for me to kind of prep. I did go to Costco. I bought infinite amount of cups and paper plates and utensils and some condiments and stuff like that. I got some hot dogs, I got some burgers, and some charcoal, and borrowed a table from a friend, and that was really the setup. It was very simple, and then of course got like some water and some drinks, and people brought their own stuff, so it wasn't really a heavy lift for me. Just to make sure that I'm creating the space, I'm hosting or creating the vibe for the day. So my guest DJ, she is a Bay Area native and has been in Tulsa for a few years now. We're both coming through Tulsa Remote, and I actually learned about the program through our mutual friend, which is crazy. And once I found out that she was a DJ 2 years ago, I was like, we gotta do something together. I had never even heard her DJ, but I just instinctually I knew that she was about that and she was good. And after having retired a few years ago from DJing, she recently got back into it. She hosts a YouTube channel, Safi Sessions, which I'm gonna link here so you can go check that out. And when she started to get back into her DJing practice, I said, please, can you come and do a set? And, she said, this feels good, this feels right, and agreed to come. And I couldn't be more grateful. I think that how I work and how I connect with people is through intuition, through shared interests, and also just kind of feeling that person's energy. And she's always had good, positive energy about herself, and that is something that I've always like gravitated toward, people who are just good-hearted folks, and that are talented folks, and that inspire me. And so when she got back into posting sets on YouTube, I was like, this, you're in your calling, you are doing, you're living in your purpose. And I love when people are living in their purpose and then are showcasing their talent. So the vibes were, intimate, but also just like something where you could still be comfortable. And I knew that with curating the guest list and having Sadal also be a co-host, she has a great community that she's developed here, and I've developed a great community. And I thought bringing the two together would be a perfect match, of just really good-hearted people. And so you could feel that everyone was having a good time, everyone was relaxed, and really being able to connect with each other. So that was really kind of like the best moment of the night, I have to say, was throwing in one of the guests, her friend, remix. So he had produced a song, a track, and was in the crowd just hanging out. And she was like, all right, I gotta pause it real quick. I forget his name, but he was like, I gotta shout out my friend. He produced this track and then played the track, and he didn't even know that was gonna happen. Because I loved that, because it shows the power of connection and showing love to someone else's gift. That was just so much fun for me. And I'm also, oh, you're a producer? That's really cool. So I've always, that was probably my favorite part of the night right there. Trying to think of anything that didn't go as planned. I think everything kind of went according to my plan. I think one thing that I was like kind of like a little nervous about was the fact that it was raining the day before, like a whole storm. So my backyard isn't set up exactly how I want it to be, so it gets a little muddy. The grass is a little soft, so people were kind of sliding all over the place because I'm on a hill. So I was like, I feel bad about that. So that's the only thing I'm like, I wish that I could have. I'm trying to improve my lawn care, but that takes time. So that's the only thing I really think I wish could have been done differently. Trying to compare it to the first event, the difference between this one and the last one, my last event was really just like, who are my close friends that I know are creatives, and I'm not sure if everybody knows everybody. I wanted to keep it really, really tight because this was going to be the first event in my house. The second one, I did want to open it up a little bit more, and it just so happened that like, and also I wanted to have a house music party. Like I deeply miss New York. I miss being on the East Coast. It's definitely a different world out here in the Midwest South. You know, Tulsa is different than being in DC, in Maryland, in New York. So I do miss that energy. And I was like, well, if I'm missing something or something that I can create, like, why not? So this second one was really for me, but also to expand my network, and also not to have to put the burden on my friends who always show up to something that I'm throwing. Because not everybody likes house music, and that's okay. So, my goal really with the Creatives Kickback, is to be able to have different types of people in the room that have some common interest and can connect, and maybe eventually work together. So I want to be able to expand my reach and my network, but also being able to tap into kind of different sides of the creative industry, different interests, and kind of be that the focal point, instead of just relying on the fact that, okay, I have friends who, are creatives. They don't always have to feel obligated to come to everything all the time. So yeah, I think what felt easier this time around was just going with the flow and being able to know, okay, these are the basic things that you need. Really, people want space. They want a third space. They want a place where they can just gather. And so I wasn't really that stressed out about being able to curate the event. As far as the guest list and everything, I did open it up significantly more than I did the last time because I'm getting, you kind of get a gauge when you start to throw events that maybe a third of the people that you invited won't even RSVP, and then the people that RSVP probably are not going to show up. So if I'm looking for like a nice number, then I'm going to take that number and probably multiply it by 3, I would say. So I would say, as far as the RSVP list that we had, I would say a third of the people that we invited actually showed up. And that made for like a really good, I think, a manageable amount of people, especially in my personal home. And there were some people that came for a little bit, just like popped through and had to go do something else, or they came early, or people that just came in, you know, halfway through the event or closer to the end of the event, which it made for being able to have more personal conversations with people and not feel overwhelmed. So I'm kind of trying to think about how I'm going to continue to do the creative kickbacks moving forward. Because I know this is kind of a small town, and to be real with you, there's a lot going on, but I think for certain communities and with certain niche maybe genres like house music, or there's not really that many events going on, so you could be like, dang, it's a little boring, it's a little slow, but that also gives you enough space to be able to create it. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping this contained, where it's not like my house turns into some big party house. That's not what I want. I want it to feel like when people come, they can kind of just like relax a bit. They're not being sold to. So I'm trying to figure out, how do you keep that, but also be able to create something that could sustain itself and grow in many other ways. So I don't know. We're going to figure that out. But I had such a good time, especially DJing and listening to another DJ play house music. I felt like I was in Brooklyn at Fort Greene Park again. And there's just something about house music that just feeds your spirit. It's like being in church. And once you allow yourself to just let go and to not be here so much, but to be here, you can really connect with the pulse and the rhythm of the music. And I think right now we need more community, but we also need more heart-filled spaces where you can be in your body and not be judged and not feel self-conscious. So I'm also trying to figure out, like, okay, that's something that I need, and how do I also help to provide that type of space for the people that are interested here in Tulsa. So yeah, that's something that I'm looking forward to. I do have a vision of a house music festival in a park similar to Soul Summit, but here in Tulsa. So TBD on that. I'm just gonna continue to make things and to see where they go. And yeah, stay tuned. I'm excited. All right, y'all.